Okay, so last week we played around with some ways that you can mix up meltdowns and crossers, and we did a little bit more playing with 1.5s. This week I have been having all kinds of fun with hybrids. This being the example that I used last week when talking about an interesting technique my friend Conway had showed me. And this week I'm finally at the point where I'm getting to be reasonably comfortable with doing this hybrid on both sides. And I gotta say, I'm a big fan of it because there's this hybrid that I learned from Conway and Lucas several weeks ago that when paired together with this hybrid makes for some very interesting parallel effects. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. The other interesting thing I've been playing around with as a result of that is this hybrid, which I've heard about and I've seen videos of, but until now I was totally clueless as to how to pull it off. It gives you that really interesting kind of split time feel, but your hands of course are doing the same time. The thing about a split time though, I gotta admit, was kind of deceptive because it does not feel like split time, although it is, you can break into it from split time. Like so. Another interesting discovery with this hybrid. So when you're doing this one, your inner hand is setting the pace, that is this one right here. And the other hand is kind of following it along this track, right? But for some reason I couldn't identify it first. I was having a very, very easy time getting this hybrid on this side. But this side, and you can see even right now, it still boggles my mind a little bit. This side I was having some issues with. And part of that I think is also that as I've watched a past take of this, I'm realizing that my isolations with these hybrids are not so round, unfortunately. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's stuff to polish. But yeah, from what I can tell, it turns out that it's actually the outer hand on this hybrid that sets the pace. I don't know if anybody else has found that, but it seems to be the trick that's helping me out. In fact, what helped me get it on this side was actually touching my two hands together and allowing them to break apart just at that one spot where they have to cross. Also, interesting thing you can do with that, a year ago, a good friend of mine showed me this kind of hybrid, which, apologies, very sloppy with it still, which is basically like a hybrid extension isolation weave, right? Which totally comes together much easier when you've got the rest of it. And last but not least, on the hybrid front, that all got me into thinking, well, okay, I'm reasonably comfortable with this, I'm reasonably comfortable with this, but what happens if, say, I reverse the direction of one poi involved in this? And you get a very, very lovely little cateye pattern out of that. Now, the first take I did this, I mistakenly referred to it as an isolation cateye hybrid. And then I took a look and realized that my left hand is being sloppy and that it does create a circular motion for my, my right hand to follow, but it's not actually creating a true isolation. I think actually it's another ellipse variant. But as time goes on, we shall work on ironing that difficulty out. So, I think this is still technically a hybrid, but of indeterminate type, as it stands. There's a cateye in there though, so it's cool at least for that reason. Aside from that, other things I've been playing with this week, my friend Charlie actually showed me an interesting variation, on that meltdown crosser pattern, where you take it over your shoulder like that, which got me going into this pattern right here as well, which is also a great way to get into a behind the back waist strap. And back out again. And back in again. So, and then I guess if you want to think of it this way, you can also think of this as adding points, where you can do those meltdown and crosser hybrids. I guess this isn't technically a hybrid, but it's a way that the two movements come together. And note how it's going over the shoulder rather than a straight up across, like I was playing with last week. So of course, from here it should be possible to do something relatively similar to the other pattern. I haven't tried it yet, so I'm not going to try it on camera. Anyways, I think that's about it that I've been playing with this past week. More isolations, of course. I clearly need practice with them. So, yeah, I think that'll do it for this week. Thanks for watching.